Now the conversation that we're going to look at tonight is how do you recognize the difference between a breakout and a fake out? And one of the times where people get caught is we just had one, and on the 5-minute arc, I'll pull this one in here. It has the. I'm just going to pull this one in here so I can show you, and then also I want the 10 to 15 minute. There's the 15 minute. Sorry guys, just pulling in. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so here we are. So now recognizing the difference between a breakout and a fake out, and also it'll be basically the top of an impulse. So when you have the impulse here, is how it behaves here, and how you can use the 5-minute timeline on the MAs to recognize what's going on here. So one of the most obvious things is look, this is an impulse. So if this is an impulse and it's coming to its completion, is the most obvious thing is that it's not a breakout, because if the impulse is coming to a completion, it's due as correction. So one of the places that people get caught a lot is on Mountain Peak. I remember the amount of, before I figured it out, the amount of times that I thought I was going for a breakout only for it to turn around and come down, because it looks so convincing. So the first thing to recognize between a breakout and a fake out is, again, just the obvious one, is where is it in the impulse? And if you can see that there's a 1-2 just to push away. Look, you can see the scooping there. Can't really see the W so much. But what you'll notice here when we look at the MAs is that we're going to be looking for a bearish divergence. Okay, and so the Mountain Peak is one that we need to look at, because it always gives you a really good example of it. And let's start there. Okay, so now I'm going to look at this on the MAs. So I'm going to go to the 5-minute, because the 5-minute shows it really well. Now I'm just gonna look at using the MAs here. I know we can put fibs on and we can measure. We can have a measure of like, here's an impulse down, here's an impulse up. So one of the ways we can do it is, just going to go to the 15 just for a sec. Here's an impulse down. So if the impulse is down, the question is, how far up is it going to go? So you take your fib, here's the impulse down, you put it at the bottom here, and you bring it to the top, and you run it across. Okay, and you look for the golden pocket. So the impulse up is going, okay, the reasonable point will be the golden pocket. Is, if you've noticed, because of the extra volume lately, the 786 seems to be very popular the last couple of weeks with targets, because it's bringing in that extra volume. So you'll notice that when I'm picking my targets lately, I'm gone to the 702. I'm going to the middle. Rather than picking the golden pocket or going to the 786, I go, the 702 is my target. And again, I feel like it's going to give me that little bit of space. So a simple way to get an idea of here's the impulse, is what's the response to it, is the 786. And look, it's hitting it to a T, yeah? So you can be guided by that as well. So once you know that here's the impulse here, is, you know, there's going to be a correction down, yeah. But now when we start to look at what's going on. Part of the challenge here is we had mountain peak here, okay, and we got this coming down here. Here's the ABC correction. It comes back up again, okay, and the question was, are we going for a breakout or are we going for a 3, 4, 5 where we adjust to mountain peak here? Now I know we have the arcs and we go, look, here's a wave and here's a wave, and you know, this is the 15 minute. This here, from here to here, is the 5 minute. So we've got those as markers as well. They give us other indications of this is just a readjustment of mountain peak. But again, it's that time in the market where you're going, if this is in the bear trend just coming down, I wouldn't be thinking, oh, this could break out here. But because of where we are, yeah, this can just turn up and pop and off it goes, yeah. It's where it can happen. So it's still that challenge. So now I'm like, okay, what's going on here? So now this is where I zoom in and I posted it while it was happening, yeah. I went into the 5 minute. Okay. I'll make this, I'll zoom in so you can see this, yeah. So one of the things that is a giveaway, okay, one of the things that is a giveaway is when price action moves really fast. When you got this impulse and it's moving, this is moving quite fast, and it moves like this, it's an impulse, but it's not necessarily a breakout. It's not necessarily a breakout because you see the 5 racing up here, and this is on the 5 minute. So when this is racing up like this, you've got the other MAs and the other timelines don't have the time to respond to it. So you get these really fast spikes and pumps. Another one we got earlier on was like this here, is coming down here, bounced off the 800 MA. You know, this is where I was saying about it's going to come down here, and then it hit this, and like a ricochet, bing, right back up. And now, then I was saying, look, it's going to come down, gradually come down, and test it again, and then it pushes way through it. So now look what it did this time. It touched it. It's pushing its way through, back up again. And again, here's the VWAP as resistance, and again, it's looking to work its way through again. It looks like it might take the turn of the day to break that, or the final hour of the day. If you see it breaking it on the final hour, you know it's setting it up for continuation, yeah. But anyway, back to this. So now here, so I'm looking at this. Okay. So this is zooming up here, and it naturally looks like an impulse. Let me zoom in on it here with less moving averages, so it's clearer. So this is what we're looking at here. Let me zoom into the 5 minute. Okay. So here it is. This here we go. This was mountain peak, actually. This was mountain peak, and then we shifted it to here. So now we're looking at this. This is the one where we're going, okay, is this the breakout now? It's after breaking the local highs? Are we breaking out here, or is this a fake out? Yeah. So one of the things you'll notice is when you've got the final push to mountain peak, often there's a rush to it. It goes up fast. So that final push, you get this common, you see this movement here, and I think it's done on purpose. And the reason why it's done on purpose because it gives the impression of a breakout, the speed with which it moves at. it gives people an indication that it's going to pop. So now, here's the bottom. Okay, so here's the same thing here. So now here is the RSI. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. It's a bit of this is all get sort of distracting me a little bit, but this is where we're looking at. Yeah, I'll do a box. We're looking at this here. Okay, we're looking at this here specifically. We're just looking at this space here. So we can sort of localize it a little bit more. There we go. Okay. And we're going to do it here. Clone. Oh, let me take it. Copy. Paste. I was going to paste there. Okay. Here. There we go. Okay. So now, we're looking for bearish divergence. And what I mean by this is that this is going up, this is going up. Is this a breakout? What's going on here? Is look at the levels. So look at this level here. So we got that level there. White line, 2. Okay. So now we go and we look at this price action here, these two levels here, and look at this. Look where this level is here. So here's this level here. So here's this, okay. Here's this, that's a match, they match. It drops down, okay, it drops down. But then look, this spikes up here. But look, this doesn't. So you can see it's already beginning to falter. So that while this spikes higher, the RSI doesn't get as high. Okay? So that's like a warning signal. But now look up here, all the way to the top here. So look at the difference. Look at that pump. And this is where people get excited. It's got to go. It's got to go. But then I don't even need, I was going to do a second line. I don't need one. Because look at this. So the RSI is level, but price action is here, and then price action is there. So look at all this, but yet the RSI couldn't make it past this peak. So this is how you know it's a fake out rather than a breakout. And you always get to see it on the 3, the 4, and the 5. That final push of an impulse is you'll start to see that the price actually gets a pump, RSI can't meet it, which is telling you it's getting exhausted. So the push is getting exhausted, the momentum is getting exhausted, that after this it has to do a correction. And there's no accident. Look how sharp this is. It's breaking out. Everybody's piling in. Everybody's piling in. Everybody's piling in. All the scalpers are piling in. And then look at this. Catches the ball, knocks them all out, retrace, and back into its A, B, C correction. Okay. So this is all I want to show you tonight. Is that when you're looking at an impulse and it's coming to the top, between the 3, the 4, and the 5, and it's coming to that peak, is it a breakout or is it a fake out? Is what you're looking for is you go to the 5 minute, because it won't be so obvious. Look, if I flick to the 10 minute, it's not so obvious. Might be. It's not. You don't get it on, you actually don't get it. Because look, here's the level, there's the level. It goes up to here, goes up to there. Then it goes up to here, and there's a big jump here. It does go up, but it's not the, you wouldn't relate it, you wouldn't say they're the same, but there's the 3 steps here. This isn't indicating the bearish divergence, so you won't see it on the 10-minute. That's why the 5-minute, you go to the 5. That's the beautiful thing. If you think about and here's the 15. If you think about the 5-minute is like the tip of the spear, and the tip of the spear is always giving you the direction. So the 5-minute is telling you that the tip of the spear is changing direction, but yet you won't see it on the 10. It'll be hidden on the 10. On the 15, look, it's the same thing. 1, 2, 3. It all looks very reasonable. But on the 5, there we go. The 5 tells you that the RSI is getting tired. It needs to correct. So that's a little gem. It's a little gem. Excuse me. So has anybody any questions? Anybody any questions on it?
Does it matter? Okay, let's say you were looking at a much bigger time frame, Roy. Would it not be the 5-minute now? Would it be maybe the 15-minute or 30-minute? In other words, you're looking on the
yeah.
You're dealing with the arc on a certain size.
Yes.
And if you go up to a big size, does that proportionally go up on which one you would look at?
Yeah.
See the divergence.
Yeah, great question. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Like you absolutely can be, the divergence can show on the 5, the 10, the 15. You get it on any timeline. Is again the bigger you see the divergence. Like if you see a divergence on a day, that's a big deal in the sense of the consequences of it. Equally, if you see it on the 4-hour, it's got to the level of the 4-hour. If a divergence is shown on the 4-hour, there's again the correction of it will be equal to the time that you see it on, so to speak. So on the 5-minute, it's a small correction, but it's also within a bigger move. And what I mean by that is, and then we're going to have a look at the peak of this 15-minute, yeah. So this is where it's there's a little bit of the value of it is enormous. And let's assume, look, 1 wave, 2 waves, and again that's what we're always saying about the arcs. There's always at least a big one, a minor one, and then possibly a smaller one before the breakout. So now this is on the 5-minute, showing you this little window here. It's the tip of the spear. But now, if this comes all the way back down, and let's assume it does, because they always do. Some come down and they'll flick up like that. The vast majority make a proper bottom. Okay, so now let's say it does this just for the purpose of this conversation, because the vast majority of the time it does. This little moment here is the tipping point. This little 5-minute action here, where that 5-minute bearish divergence is the tipping point between this impulse turning in this small moment. This is the tipping point that sets up this. Okay, so now, Crypto Clear and I thought it was here. Here's the mountain peak. We went in for our short. Okay, it's looking good. It's looking good. It was offering. I know if it hits 67.50, it's offering me about 130 to 140% on the 2 shorts I'm in. So this is about 50%. This is offering me quite a nice trade. What I should have done here is taken half my profit, and then dollar cost it in if it went down. If it didn't, it came back up. What I suggested with Mika today is take a small amount of profit on his long, and when it comes back down, dollar cost in, get a better position for a bigger win on the way up. So stayed in, come back up again. It reset mountain peak, so it was important for me here to go, I need to know whether this is mountain peak resetting itself, or are we going for a breakout? because it's my decision about do I stay in or do I come out. So again, this little moment here, this little 5-minute moment made all the difference to me recognizing it as mountain peak or something bigger. And again, we're coming down here. So definitely mountain peak is, and then watching it. I want to see it break. I want to see it break. Where's that divergence line? Here we go. Here we go. I want to see it break. Want to see it break this divergence line. So now I put this on. I don't know. I think sometime early today. And then I said, look, it's going to drop down to this, and it did. It came right through it. It posted it, shot up like a bullet, and I said, okay, look, watch it now. Come back down, gradually come back down, and do the push through. So you can see it touching off it, testing it again. Look away from it again, and then we want to see it. We want to see it break through. So when you see this clearly getting broken, I'll relax a little bit more because okay, now here's divergence being broken. That's a good sign for continuation. It does look like it'll need the turn of the day to do it, you know. So you can see the tests along the way. Yeah. But now what we're going to have a look at is skyline. Okay, we'll have a look. So now, in the context of Pico, in the context of what you're asking me, in a bigger move. So now it's within it. We can have a look at this one as well. Yeah, this is skyline on the 5-minute. This is skyline on the 15-minute. We'll have a look at both of them, and we'll see if we can see the same pattern play out at the peak. I'm pretty sure they do because I remember marking them all. Yeah. And the question you're asking me is when we check this one, will we see it on the 5-minute? But maybe it will show on the 10 or 15-minute as well. It might be clearer. Isn't that sort of what you're asking?
If it's on a bigger arc, or in this case, you're talking about mountain peak, right? Mountain peak on a 15-minute as opposed to a 5-minute, I guess. Will it show on a time frame?
Yeah,
more or less proportional, approximately.
Yeah, well, you see, this is the wonderful thing is that the 5-minute is the one where it'll show itself clearly all the time. Maybe it'll show the 10 or the 15, you know, but it's the 5-minute. It's that peak, you know when you have you've got a scale that's absolutely equal, and if you put even the smallest amount of weight on one side, doesn't matter how small that weight is. If you've got two sides absolutely equal, when you put even the smallest amount of weight, doesn't matter the size of it, on one side, it's going to tip the scales. And this is what I'm saying is that, and as part of your question, even if it's on a big a 4-hour arc, even if you went to the daily arc, you can still zoom in to the price action on the smaller scale at the peak of the day or the 4-hour, wherever it is. You're still going to see, and you're still going to be able to measure it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
You're saying that.
Go on.
You're saying the 5-minute is good for any size, and if it's bigger, there's a good chance you'll also see it on a bigger, like a 10, 15, whatever.
Yes.
It's probably good confirmation too.
It is. It gives you. It is, but yes, but you got it. If you see it on the, if you see you're coming to the peak of an impulse, and you see it happening on the 5-minute, is you're better off trusting it when you see it on the 5-minute than not, rather than going, oh, I want to see it on the 15, because you may never see it on the 15, but yet it is bearish divergence. One of the things that's happening now is because we're in this transitory phase where the MAs are so wound up and caught up together. Normally when you see a breakout is you see the MAs coiling up together. You see the MAs coiling up together. So on the 5 minute, you zoom in like this. Here's an example here, yeah. So this is all consolidation, okay? This is all consolidation. So when you zoom in, you'll see that there's a gathering of the MAs. You see them all. You see them all. I know there's a bit of volatility there, but you see them all. Look at them all spread out here, and look how they're all starting to come together. So you see it getting tighter and tighter. So you'll see that consolidation, and then what happens is you get a turn. Is you get the push up for the push down for the push up. And then you'll see the 5 and the 10 cross, and when it crosses them all, this is when you see that crossing through. Is there's the pump, there's the breakout. So that consolidation there. I forget why I'm saying this to you. Why am I talking about this partner? Why am I talking about consolidations and breakouts? I forget why I'm saying this.
Maybe just you're explaining more confluence, because I was asking about seeing the divergence on a bigger time frame, and you said if you see it on the 5 minute,
yes,
even if it's a bigger and you don't see it on the 10 or the 15 or whatever,
yes,
it's a far better chance that you're not breaking out.
Yes. Okay.
Maybe
so
you're just pointing to some more indicators of breakout that we can throw in, I guess. I'm not sure why, but that's
you're spot on. Thank you very much. I know exactly why I'm saying this now again. Thank you. So look, here's where you can see them all getting tighter. But when I go to the 15, I want to go to the same space on the 15. Here it is. Some of them are getting tighter, but look, the rest are not there. So you're not getting that. You're not getting that. The binding, the consolidating of all the MAs. There's not as many MAs. If I go to the hour, you'll see even less. You'll see even.
Okay, can I ask something now? You're showing how the 5 minute time frame works and why it gets that tipping point.
Yes.
Because the MAs come together very easily on it, I guess. Right? Yeah.
Yes, you get a compacting of them, and then what you'll see is the 5 will cut across them all, and that's the trigger that kicks it off. So if you think about any breakout, whether it's up or down, is you'll see a consolidation on the 5 minute, and then you'll see the 5 MA and the 5 minute cut across them. And when you see it cutting across and cutting down through them, it's a very good indicator that that's the whistle that's triggering the full breakout. So the 5 minute will always show you when it's actually breaking out. The 5 minute will also show you when it's a fake out. That it's a short, sharp pump, but it's not actually breaking out, and it will show divergence. It will show either the bearish or bullish divergence because it's not a breakout; it's a fake out. When it's a breakout, you've got real consolidation, and then you'll see the 5 cut across them. Do you understand?
Now, if the 5 is underneath and they coil together and then it cuts through going up, that's a breakout going up.
Yes.
If it's the same going down, the 5 and they all come together and the 5 breaks through, cuts through going down, that's a confirmation on a breakdown.
Yes. There you go. There you go. So again, you can see consolidation here again, and this is on the 1 hour. You get a few of them, but look at all these guys all loose here, moving through, you know. But when you go to the 5 minute, where are we now? Here we go. This is it here. So again, look, you can see how many more of the MAs have got caught up and bound up in it. So when you zoom in here, you see there's a gathering as it goes along. The 5 and 10, there's the 20, here's the 50, the 100 and the 144, here's the 200. You can see it was the 200 coming in here that was the lift. The bounces off the 800, the 200 came up, and that was the push. So the rest of them were all consolidating, waiting for the 200 to come up and give it that lift. So now here's the lift up for the push down for the breakout. So you can see the push down for the through the 200. Here's the turn of the 5 and the 10. Now look, they scoop here. This is where they cut through. See the body of them? This is where they cut through and up they go. So you're always on the breakouts, you're always getting the push up on the 5, the push up for the push down for the big greater push up. It's no different than if you're going to jump up onto a wall. You give yourself a bounce up, you bend your knees and you push into the ground, and then up you go, you lift. So it's the same force, momentum of force, yeah. So, and again, this catches people because people are thinking, is it going to go up or down? Oh, it's a breakout. People off they go. Now you say, oh no, that's the fake out. It's coming down and it's catches everybody. Now people are going, oh no, it's breaking down. So then people go short, and then it turns around, catches all these guys, and then up it goes. So this action here catches the people who are going long and with tight stop losses, and then this down here comes back up, catches all the people who are going short with all tight stop losses, only for it to go up in the direction you thought it was going to go. It's going up. Oh no, it's going down. Ah, feck, it's going up. So now this is where the stop losses can catch you, because you go, look, I know it's going up, but then this trickery here catches you, and you can come along and say, oh listen, it's the market makers trying to catch people out, and that's true. But equally, from the point of view of momentum, is anything that wants to go up needs to have a little lift, needs to push down to get a greater lift. That's just the way it works. Even ourselves jumping up on the wall, this is what we have to do. Is roots, you gotta open up the seed, the roots have to grow down for the tree to grow up. So there's the lift and the opening, the rooting down, and then the pushing up. So, and it's the same on the reverse. The reverse is you get the blow off top, and you think, oh my God, it's going to go. And then here's the correction and down we go. So the 3 is, this is it, it's the breakout. The 4 is, oh no, it's not. And then the 5 is up again. Oh my God, it's going to go again. Oh no, it's not, it's a correction. So a lot of people can get caught on the 3, thinking it's the breakout. Then it goes to the 4, knocks them out of their stop losses. It's going down, woohoo! Then it knocks out all the shorts, comes back up to 5. Oh my God, it's breaking out again, let's go! And then it does its full correction, and it knocks people out again. All the people with tight stop losses. And then this time, it's going down. So it's that same, on the transition points, it's that same action all the time, whether it's going up or down. And it's the 5 minute, this is what I'm trying to tell you, is the 5 minute will always show it. Sometimes it'll be the 10 or the 15, and if it's a really bigger move, the arrow will show it, but when you get right into that tipping point, that moment when it's all going one way until it's not. There's that moment, and the 5 minute lets you zoom right in on that moment to go, that's the turning point. Okay, so now let's go and have a look at now this is why dollar costing, by the way, this is why dollar costing is great, because, you know, look, this is going up. We know it's going up, but there's going to be this. Look at these spike outs here. We know there's going to be this beforehand, you know, so you get your position. You don't get your position up here. If you think it's going up, get your position down here. Let it do its thing, and then when you see it's properly going, then you dollar cost in. You got your position. You're not getting caught up in these battles. When it goes this way, now you dollar cost. So it allows you to bypass getting knocked out of your stop losses here, and it lets price action get on with doing what it needs to do to create the momentum for going up, the push up, for the push down, for the push up. Okay, so now we want to look at. Didn't we say we would do the 5 minute, the mountain peak, the skyline on the 5 minute, and then the skyline on the 15 minute. So this is skyline on the 15. This is mountain peak on the 15. This is skyline on the 5. This is mountain peak on the 5. Okay, so we're going to have a look at this one. So there's the hour. And again, look, there's the bottom. So from the bottom, we've got the impulse. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now if we zoom in, okay, now we've got to go to the 5. I'm doing this in stages because it lets me make sure I'm in the right space on the chart, yeah. Yeah, this is it here, yeah. Just double checking. Yeah. I stand corrected. This is skyline on the 5. This is mountain peak on the 15 here, yeah. Okay, so let's zoom in. Just to see if we can see the same thing playing out. Okay, and again, yeah, I don't know if if you can see, you can already see it with your eye. The more you get used to it, we are looking at this space here. We'll pull this up here so we can see. We bring this down like this here. There we go. And we are looking at this space here. Same. Okay, so now you can see it. It's obvious when you look at this now. Look at where this is here. And again, there's one line that I need there. So now there's price action here. Okay. There it is there. I noticed TradingView updated itself recently, and I'm getting this. See this here? I can't put my see, it won't let me put my line just straight. It just keeps flicking from one to the other. Is anybody else having that problem with their TradingView? Just won't let me put a straight line. Oh, it's not giving me. Yeah, it's giving me like when I do a regular line. Like normally you just do it and then I can put it anywhere and see it free and easy. But now when I try to, there it is there. It did it for me there. It's just not letting me. I want to do a straight line. So there it is there. Look, I want to go straight across. And I just want to You can see where my cross is, and look, it's down there. It's just not letting me. It's not letting me land. Fecker, look at that. They won't let me.
Try holding shift.
Holding shift.
Yeah.
Which
yeah, work it on.
Well, I do that. I think when I have that, when I use my Mac mouse. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Super. So look at this here. There is the RSI, super oversold. Super, or overbought. Sorry. And then look at this here. Now, here is high again. This didn't reach it. Didn't this peak here on price action? It's not working. No. There we go. Okay. So look, you can see RSI, while price is going up, RSI is dipping. You know, and drops down, and look, it makes a final push here, and look all the way up here. So again, look at the difference. This is still, the RSI is still higher here, and then look at this difference. So all that push up, and this didn't even make it back level again. So it's telling you that it's getting exhausted. So then you know that this is the peak, and it's coming in for a correction. So it gives you a really solid indication. And excuse me. Now look at this. It wasn't just a correction of this impulse here. It wasn't just a correction of this impulse. It was the tipping point for a much bigger impulse. It was a tipping point where you got this impulse up, is you've got the drop down here, it comes back up, so A, B, and then C down here, the correction. But look at this, A, because from here 0, A, B, so now down it comes again and comes back up, and we're going, okay, is this a reset of mountain peak? Now this, you got to remember, this is because we're looking at the arcs. Is this a reset of mountain peak? This is not what most people won't be going, is this a reset of mountain peak? They're not aware of the arcs. They're not aware of the the waves in that fashion, because the arcs center us in the impulse and the correction waves afterwards. So most people don't have in their mind, is this mountain peak and a reset of it? Most people are looking at this and going, this is a breakout. It's coming back up here. It's coming up with speed, you know, and it's a bit of volume, but the speed of it is what gives it away as a fake out. Because when it moves so fast on the 5 minute, if you go to the hour, is the MAs on the hour don't have time to respond to this. So it's a pump, but it's not bringing the MAs on the later timelines with it. That's why it gets exhausted. So it looks big on the 5 minute, but if you zoomed in on the hour or the 4 hour, it doesn't look very much. And you don't get such a response. If we try to look at this now, on the 15 minute, is even on the 15 minute, it doesn't show up as divergence, as bearish divergence. So look, here we go. There's a top. There's the next top, which is level. And then this one is slightly higher. So there's a hint of it here. There's a hint of it here. Maybe it shows on the 10 minute. We gotta find it now. Is this it here? Yeah. Yeah, this is it, isn't it? Yeah. No. See on the, well, no, it does. No, my apologies. My apologies. It does show it. So look, here's the peak. here. And then here's these peaks on price action, but look, here's the drop. So clearly shows it on the 10 minute. It shows a hint of it on the 15, but still the RSI peak here did get higher. The third one did get higher, where these two are level. So this is it. These two show it, but in this one, it was able to break slightly higher again. And on the 30 minute, it just looks normal. Is there 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 up. So there's no, you don't see the divergence there, yeah. But you clearly see it on the 5 and the 10, and then it's a little bit on the 15. Okay. So this is what I'm always checking. This is what I'm always checking when it comes to the impulses and meeting the top of them, yeah. So now let's do it on this one and see where we get. This was a tricky one, because this here, you know, and then a lovely deep retrace here, and then look, it came up, and look, it just pipped up. So 3, 4, 5, yeah. Now let's go, because the volume is bigger on this one, just out of curiosity, can we see it on this one on the hour? Okay, let's just have a look at this here, and we're having a look at this. Maybe we need to do this. So one of the challenges with doing the RSIs like this is how far back do you go? Because the RSIs reset themselves. So what I mean by that is that you see the space that the RSI moves in, where here's the overbought, here's the oversold, and then it resets itself. So look at where price action is here. Look at the movement of the RSI. You know, so it moves in sequences and then it resets. So you got to be careful that you don't look back too far and try to say, oh look, here's a divergence here when we're dealing with price action here. So now this is why, the reason why I'm saying this is look at the lift here. Super in the overbought, yeah. And then it drops, RSI drops, price action keeps going up. I remember this now. This is where it was like, when is this going to stop? Because this was showing us bearish divergence for ages here, and we're thinking, this is it. When is this going to stop? And it just kept going up. It was brutal, and I would suggest that this is where the market makers went out of their way to be knocking people out, because look at this peak here. Look at that there. RSI takes a dip. Oh, there's a correction. No, it just keeps pushing up. Somebody's pushing it up. You know, is here, look, it dips, it lifts again. RSI goes up, or the price action goes up. RSI goes up a little bit, but doesn't meet this. This is all bearish divergence on the hour. So this is one where, you know, we were looking at this and we're just going, you know, I know what this is telling us, but this just seems like a lot of manipulation here, you know. So it reaches a peak, still didn't make it. Then here's a correction, but now look at this. Look at how much this drops down here. And look, it goes practically nearly all the way to the bottom. So this allows it to the RSI to reset to the bottom, and then it lifts again. And again, now look at this. The RSI comes all the way up to here, but price action nearly comes all the way back to the top again. So this is an example of excuse me, definitely bearish divergence. But on this one, it's like, well, when is it going to when is this drop going to come? And the market here purposefully kept the price high. Kept the price high. So look, the price stays high, bouncing off to 200, look at how the RSI comes nice and deep, but yet it isn't. The price action isn't matching it. Excuse me. Price action isn't matching it. Yeah. This is a very frustrating time to TA here. So now we get the drop down. So 3, 4, 5. So now let's have a look at this area here. Okay. So from this bottom just to here. So now price action comes down, RSI comes down, doesn't hit the oversold, but gets pretty close. It starts to come back up. There's the lift up. So there's the lift up here. Drops back down again. Okay, fair enough. Drops back down. And again, price action pushes up. So now it's breaking. Price action is breaking this high, but it doesn't on the. It doesn't in the RSI. So now you can even see bearish divergence on the 1 hour here. On the 1 hour here. So now it's tight. It is absolutely tight. It's hard to argue that it is bearish divergent, but it's hard to argue how relevant it is because there's not much in the difference. But now this is on the hour. If we went down to the half hour, I'm gonna have a look. Yeah, and this was very frustrating. This is very frustrating. Just felt like an awful lot of manipulation here. So on this one, again, it's look at the peak. There's the drop, still going up. Like it's a big drop, still going up. Look at that drop, still going up. Jeez, this has to turn at any moment and spill. This can't keep it. When you get such a drop like this, but price action is going up, and that's not natural. It's just when you get such a drop like this, and then look at keeps going up. You know, okay, spiking up here again, spiking up here again. You know, but again, look, it keeps going up. So there's such a difference between here and then the top up here, and then on the RSI, here's the top, and look, doesn't even come close to it again. And again, this here drops all the way back down. And again, this is where I think the reason why I think it's a lot of manipulation is it drops back down again all the way. Look, it actually touches the overbought here, or oversold, which is giving you an indication of if it comes all the way back down to the bottom again, it's going to go all the way back to the top again, and we could have an even bigger movement. And people were looking at going, oh look, it's hit at 91. People are talking about, oh, this could go to 101, this could go to 110, because again, the correction of it here is now it's going to go to the top again. Okay, now it can go in another run like it did here. So it was tricky, super tricky here. Very untrustworthy what was going on here. Very much felt like the fingers being put on the scales, and it was to knock people out, is catch all the people. It's almost like doing unnatural behavior where it's being forced up, you know. So okay, but still, we're still looking at the divergence, the bearish divergence. Is now look, it's going to break the top again. This is on the half hour. So it's pushing up. Okay, then it drops. Okay, it drops. Now pushes up again. Gets a little higher this time. Okay, it gets a little higher. Okay, and then you see this is the thing here. There's the bearish divergence here again. So look, here it drops, but here it goes up. Okay, and then you get this drop down here, look all the way back down again. And again, this is where, again, it gets odd. Look at how weak this is. Price action goes up here, very small amount, but the RSI shoots up. So what's this telling you? This is called hidden bearish divergence, because the RSI races to the top, but look how small the price action is. So that's telling you it's racing to the top so that it can come down again. So this is telling you, look, the price action couldn't match it. Price action is exhausted here. Whoever's pushing this, they exhausted the market. So look, this small little lift got this big reaction in the RSI. Okay, now here's going to come down, and this time it properly starts to take it down. So now you can see it starts to bring it down, yeah? So now that's on the half hour. It's a little bit obvious, but you know, the hour, they're both half hour and the hour showing it a little bit. This one is super obvious. This one is super obvious. And I would nearly say to you, this one is super obvious because I would suggest that the market makers wanted people to think, look, this is bearish divergence here. This is going to turn. This is going to turn. People are going in on their shorts. This is going to turn. This is going to turn. This pumps up. Jesus, they're all knocked out. But what? This is bearish divergence. It's meant to be. It's going. It's going. Look, here it is. Going. So I'd say an awful lot of people went into shorts somewhere around here and got knocked out of them. You know, is down here. People are thinking, look, this looks like it's going to go. This looks like it's going to go because it came down here. It just looks like it's going to go in another leg up. So again, you'll have people going in on their longs, you know, and then it comes down. They'd have time to come out of their longs here, yeah. But here is the people shorting they're all getting wiped out. So now let's see if we go into the 15. So if we go into the 15, we zoom in a little bit. And if we can see it clearly on the 15, then we know we're going to see it clearly on the 5, yeah. So here's price action here. Well, look how obvious it is here. Look at this here, how high it is here. Price action shoots up to here. RSI just tanking down. You know, shoots all the way up to here. It gets a little bit of wind in it here, but it can't match here. So this price down here it is topping out. You know, this is why this is the trickery here, you know, as this is super in the overbought. This is going to come down. And this is where, again, this is where we got cut. This is going to come down. You know, look at the RSI, super in the overbought. This is going to have to come down and cool itself. No, it turned and up it went. This is completely forced. You know, completely forced. And up it goes. Yeah, it has to come down now. Okay, now get a little lift all the way up here. So look at all this. And look at the difference between this and that, and then this and this all the way up here. Didn't even make it, yeah. So now I think the reason why this was set up, and one of the things I learned from this is I called the two previous drops before that, I called them against the market. The majority of the market weren't calling it. And they were sweet calls. Brilliant calls. They were great. I was delighted. This one here is I follow the same pattern, but I think the problem here is that everybody else saw it too. So the market on this one is I went with the market, but the whole market was going too. So this was just a setup. This is what this feels like. It was a setup for the whole market to think, you know, it's going to go down again, only for it to turn and pop up, because an awful lot of people got caught here. So one of my lessons is the bites of the cherry is you get it once, you get it twice. Is people are starting to recognize the pattern. Be very careful when everybody thinks, okay, it's going to go down again. I think on that time when I feel like the market, I'm making a big decision. But yeah, I'm making it, and the rest of the market is making it with me, is that to me is a red flag. That to me is a red flag now, where we're going, oh, hang on a sec. If everybody's doing the same thing, that's just the perfect time to catch the market. So that was one of my life lessons there, trading lessons. So yeah, super obvious here. So listen, we don't need to do this because it's going to be super obvious here. And I know we could go and do the bigger one on the 15, but we're going to see the same thing. It's going to show something very similar, yeah. Just checking price, just checking it here, a little pump here. It's going to show something very similar. So now, what's the thing for you to do? Is what you need to do in this is backtest. Is go and look for the peaks where you see that you can see the peak. Just backtest it, see the peak. Go on to the 5 minute and go and study. Just seeing what's doing here now. Go and study the bearish divergence, where you can see price action is pumping up, but the RSI is coming down. And begin to recognize those moments that you can read them. And then when you start to see them coming, is go on to the 5 minute and then start to see if you can see it in real time, where you're looking at the RSI and then you're looking at price action, and then you start to see them move apart. Price action is going up, RSI is going down. Is you can be pretty sure that's running out of steam. You know, that one I showed you there about the trickery and the like, that went all the way up to the hour, and that was forced. That doesn't happen so often. There's times in the market where market makers will draw everybody in and then just rug pull. That was a rug pull. So it does happen, but they can't do it all the time, because if they did it all the time, there'd be chaos and people wouldn't trust the markets. So, and they do it at specific moments. So the vast majority of the time, when you see that bearish divergence there, is you can trust it. Is you can even trust it more so when we're fully in a trend. If it's a bull trend or a bear trend, you can trust it more. Where we are now is in that transition phase, where the bulls and the bears are pushing, and we're getting these long drawn out arcs. So there's lots of sideways, and then you're getting these pumps, these volume pumps, and then the volume disappears and it goes back to sideways, and then lots of MAs getting being gathered together. Is you have the minutes and the hours is so close to the days and the weeks that they're all mixing and matching together because of that transition. It's all come down. They're all mixing and matching until at one point is you get a clear breakthrough. Think about this now. On the 5 minute, there's going to be one moment on the 5 minute timeline where all the MAs will come nice and tight together. There'll be a push up for a push down, and then you'll see the push up where the 5 minute MA will cross over the rest of the majority of the other MAs on the 5 minute timeline. And that's the tipping point for the bear trend. That's the tipping point for going to the all-time high. There will be that moment when the 5 minute will show you exactly the moment when the turn happened. That's there, and they happen all the time, but there'll be that one too. And I'll give you a perfect example now. We don't need to go into it. I'll just show you the moment. I want my channels. Okay, my channels. Now look, divergence is nearly broken here. See here? Just waiting for that. Look at us bouncing along here, just waiting for that to come down. So now, here is one of those moments. This is why I think this moment, this price action is so important. So there's the 1705. That's when the court case happened, that bottom. But this moment, look, after, it won't let me let it sit on it. Back here, all the way back here, we're going to, where's 10 cent? Is that 10 cent? Yeah, this is it here. So now, this here, this impulse down, the reason why this is so important, because you have the bear trend from the past coming down, coming down, coming down, coming down, coming down, coming down, all the way, all the way, and then this is the lowest point of the bear trend. So this is the tipping point. Everything from here on is up. So this here is a tipping point from the end of a cycle that was going on for years to the beginning of a new cycle. That green candle there, right there is the moment. So you can see that there's a moment, there's a moment, there's a moment, there's a moment. You can see that all these tips, when you zoom in on the 5 minutes, is the difference between the ones that are not fake outs, but they're impulses that are going to retrace. I guarantee you're going to see a bearish divergence here. You're going to see it here. This will be a screaming bearish divergence. You know, but what's the difference between all these and then this one? Why is this the one that pumps? Okay. So again, part of that would be is the bigger wave. Is you've got one wave, you've got a second wave here, and then look, here we go, up it goes. Here's the third, and the third is the breakout. So that's why the arcs are really super, because look, here's a wave, here's the ABC correction, here's a second wave, so impulse A, B, actually C correction here, is here's the next wave, and again 2, and then up we go again. Is why am I saying this is 1 all the way to here? Because it's the impulse and the correction. Here's the impulse, here's the correction. Is you could say, look, here's a wave, and here's a second wave, but that really it's an impulse, the correction, A, B, C, impulse, correction, and look, here we go again. Off it goes. So when you have the arcs, and you know that there's a impulse and correction, impulse, correction, sometimes a third one, you can nearly say that here, small, see this is what I'm talking about now, see that impulse there? This smaller correction, and then up it goes. This is what I'm super cautious of where we are right now, is that we've got this, we've got our lower correction doesn't go as deep, and then up it goes. So that's why I'm very cautious about where we are right now. Yeah. So now the arcs give you that pattern. You know there's at least 2. So now within this is you've got the ones that are a bearish divergence. So here's an impulse and a correction. Here's an impulse and a correction. Here's an impulse and a correction. All these are going to have a bearish divergence on it. Correction, and up it goes again. So, and you'll see them on the 5 minute. So it's letting you know the difference between let me give you an example. Is this one here? Is it's going up, is the bearish divergence here? No, it's not, but I guarantee you'll find it up here. So again, here's the pump here, is you'll see it there, there's the correction. Here's the breakout. Again, you may see it here, is you may go in and you're short here, and look, you might come up and get caught here if you're dollar costing in, so your liquidation is way up here. So you're more than safe, wait, catch, down we go. You're taking your profit. So the 5 minute and recognizing the peak of the impulse and the bearish divergence is such a sweet point, because you're beginning to recognize the tipping points. And that's the real value of it. They're super. So practice it. Go back and back test all these tips. Go back and back test them and see if you can recognize it in it. Watch how it behaves, and then bring it forward. And as you see the peaks and the impulses, test them for divergence. Testing for, is it running out of steam? Is the RSI and the price action diverting from each other? One is saying one thing and the other is saying the other. So there you go. I've said it multiple times today. I've showed it in multiple different ways. Has anybody any questions before we wind up on this one? Any questions in general, just about price action and anything? Just checking on the hour. We're into 10:30. There we go. That's it. The hour is red. Okay. All right, guys. This one is a gem. This session, what I'm showing you. So give it a go, and maybe post some of your, when you recognize it, is do what I was doing there, where you have your RSI on one half of the screen and you got your price action on the other, and if you mark it out, and if you want to post a couple of them, and tag me in them, and we can have a look at it and go, Roy, am I recognizing divergence there? Am I getting it there? Am I seeing that? Is that right? And if you want to do that, yeah, I'm more than happy to give you the feedback. And once you get like 5 or 6 of them, you go, okay, now you got this. And then you can start to look at it in real time. And that's where the real value of it is for you. And it stops you, it'll stop you jumping in, thinking something's going to pump, only for it to turn around in the next moment. So other than that, have a great day, have a great night, and I will see you guys next time. All right. Have a
Thanks, man. Great session.
Yeah,
Thank
super.
you.
Thank you. Yeah, so let's talk about this a little bit in the next while, and let us all get it into our trading skills. Yeah.